Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. All right, news breaking yesterday after further review, just after we went off the air, that the Saints have agreed to terms on a contract extension for running back Alvin Kamara. That new contract going to be 2 more years in length. $24.5 million, and AK will be in New Orleans for a couple of more seasons. And as many people have alluded to in this report, it's likely he retires a New Orleans Saint. AK right there at 30 years old, looking at a 32-year-old running back, financially taken care of over the course of the last 8 years in New Orleans. And you figure this may be it for him. I'm not as concerned with when he's retiring, more so concerned with this news and what it means for him and what it means for the New Orleans Saints. And I have some layered thoughts on this decision. You kind of figured this was coming. This is not new news that Kamara wanted to get an extension done. It is not new news that he wanted to be in New Orleans and continue to play as a New Orleans Saint. And it is not new news that those two parties, Kamara and the Saints, have been back and forth, but hadn't quite gotten to the finish line, and they finally did yesterday. I want to start with this because I know this is the way that most people feel, and I don't think it is the incorrect place to start. This match, this draft pick, the production, the player, the locker room fit, everything Alvin Kamara has done since he was drafted by the New Orleans Saints in the 3rd round has been absolutely exemplary. He's been a phenomenal player, a Saints Hall of Famer, a record holder, most touchdowns in the history of the franchise. He's been a model citizen in the city. He's been a consistent through the turmoil of this Breeze Payton era turnover into the Alan Carr years. He's played hurt. He's played through a contract dispute. He's been a great player. And that piece is so admirable. In an era of transfer portal, this and that, the college game that we cover, and trade demands and holdouts that you see all over professional sports all the time, for Alvin Kamara to act as professionally as he has acted throughout this entire process has been incredible. He's gone above and beyond. He could have sat down with a broken rib, with no offensive line and no quarterback and no wide receivers early in this season. He did not. He put a flak jacket on, he took the football, and he ran into a brick wall. That is not nothing. It is incredible to watch and cover. And I think the Saints continuing to engage in these discussions has been admirable, and these two are obviously a match that they both want to continue, and that's a positive thing. There's another side to this, and this is a side that I have been talking about really since the summer. I'm not here to tell you that Alvin Kamara, as a football player, is definitely not worth $12.25 million a year over 2 years. I think you could easily make the case that he is. You look at the production that he has had as a football player. You look at what he did the first 2 weeks of this season when the Saints were healthy and playing great football. He was exceptionally productive. He was the cornerstone of the Saints offense. And as you look around the league at some of the backs in the league, yeah, there are guys making more than that. Christian McCaffrey's on $19 million a year. Jonathan Taylor makes $14 million a year. Saquon Barkley makes $12.5 million a year. And those guys are incredibly productive. McCaffrey when he's on the field, obviously. But this is the Saints we're talking about. This is not the 49ers. This is not the Eagles. This is not perennial contenders in the NFC. This is a roster that is old and expensive. And I don't believe sinking $12.25 million a year into running back is a good idea. That has nothing to do with Alvin Kamara. Nothing. It has everything to do with the state of the Saints roster. I've got a list here of the top running backs this year in terms of yardage. Derrick Henry makes $8 million. You're going to pay AK $12.25. Jordan Mason in San Francisco makes $985,000. We mentioned Saquon, 12.5. Josh Jacobs makes 12, really productive in Green Bay. Chuba Hubbard makes $1 million. James Conner, $7 million, but that's half of AK almost. It's like 60%. Bijan Robinson, 5.5. J.K. Dobbins, 1.6. I'm not telling you in a vacuum that Alvin Kamara is not worth $12.25 million over 2 years when he's in his 30s. I don't know that. What I know is the Saints have 2 wide receivers worth a damn, and one of them had knee surgery. They got nothing behind that. I know the Saints' defensive front has been a sieve, and Cam Jordan's old, and Chase Young's on the last year of his 1-year deal. I know DeMario Davis is beyond his prime. I know Tyrann Mathieu is beyond his prime. I know Paulson Adebo just got carted off the field, and he's out of years on his contract. I know the Saints have holes everywhere. And sinking $12 million, which is top 4 in the NFL for running back, is not a good use of funds, in my opinion. There are too many issues on this roster to give $12 million a year to Alvin Kamara. And once again, because I feel like it is important to continue to beat this drum, that has nothing to do with Alvin Kamara. It has everything to do with the state of this roster. You need to get younger and cheaper. You just got older, and you didn't get any cheaper because Alvin Kamara is still going to be making $12 million. And that's not the direction the Saints need to go. This is a franchise, for better or for worse, and at times it's been better and at times it's been worse, has always, always, always clung to trying to stay competitive and holding on for dear life. That's what their MO has been. And that's not always a bad thing. But to me, analyzing this situation, unbiased, because y'all know this, I don't have a lot of emotional attachment to whether or not the Saints win on Sundays. I just think this is for worse. I think this is... What good is Alvin Kamara if your offensive line can't block? What good is Alvin Kamara if you don't have a passing game because you don't have any wide receivers to throw to? What good is Alvin Kamara if your defense is giving up more yards than anyone in the sport? What good is Alvin Kamara at that point? Not great. He's been out there for 5 games. The Saints have lost all 5. It has nothing to do with him. I think it's reasonable to expect Alvin Kamara at the end of this 2-year extension, when he is 31 years old, to be a pretty damn good NFL football player. My concern is the Saints are going to miss out on 2 other potential good football players who might play defensive tackle and wide receiver because they're paying Alvin Kamara. That's my concern. There are running backs available every year, late in the draft, undrafted free agents. I mean, I can just bring this home to New Orleans. Y'all know the Pierre Thomas story, and I'm not trying to belittle Pierre Thomas and suggest you can just find Pierre Thomas wherever you want to look. That's not the case. But you're more likely to find Pierre Thomas than you are a franchise left tackle or right tackle, and you're holding on for dear life at right tackle. You're more likely to find Pierre Thomas late in the draft or in undrafted free agency than you are an elite pass rusher. You got to go find more secondary pieces. Maybe McKinstry and Lattimore and Alontae Taylor are it, but Tyrann Mathieu's not going to last to the end of this contract that Alvin Kamara has. So I just don't agree with the decision. I just don't agree. I think there are too many issues to sink that amount of money. You cannot pay a running back top $4 in the NFL with McCaffrey, Taylor, Barkley, and Jacobs when you have that many issues across your roster. I just don't believe in it. And I do not believe in a lifetime achievement award for a player. Thanks for the last 8 years. Here's $24 million over 2 because you were awesome 5 years ago. That's not how this works. You have to pay players for the production they give you on that deal. And I don't believe that Alvin Kamara will give you the production on this deal that merits that amount of money because the guys around him aren't good enough. That's just the way I feel about it. That's our opening drive presented by Genesis of Baton Rouge. We'll certainly get Luke Johnson's thoughts on it tomorrow. I welcome your thoughts on Twitter at HuntPalmer88 or, of course, in the Bayou Ford chat, whatever you may think. Again, I I don't have anything against Alvin Kamara. I'm so impressed by his professionalism. And I've loved watching him play. It's a joy to watch play. The Saints aren't in position to pay him that money. That's just the way I see it. You're a Saints guy.
This feels like a move that Mickey Loomis is making to almost not. I'm not going to say that he's making it to appease the fans, but at the same time, when he understands the state of the franchise right now, he understands that
I don't know that he does, Beck. I really don't.
Okay, I feel like it's pretty clear that the fan base for the majority are all just fed up right now with this team. And if you want to have any sort of hope that the fan base will stick around for the next few years, you've got to have guys like Alvin Kamara on the team. I understand that it's not going to help you win 5 more games in a season, but you have to have something. There has to be something for the fans to latch on to. If you have nothing, if you don't have a player like Alvin Kamara on the team, then no one's going to show up.
No, I agree that this will make the fans happy, and I'm assuming when this gets posted on YouTube that I will get annihilated on YouTube, and that's fine. I'm not here to try to make everybody happy all the time. I'm here to tell you what I think, and sometimes people like that, and sometimes they don't. But like, this will make the fans happy because they have great memories of Alvin Kamara, and they want Alvin Kamara on their team, and their 12-year-old has an Alvin Kamara jersey, or they have an Alvin Kamara jersey, and they have a nostalgic feel to him. And again, it's reasonable to expect that Alvin Kamara is going to be a good football player in 2 seasons. It is reasonable to expect that. I just don't think the Saints can block for him. I don't think they can stop anybody on defense. I think I just don't think that that's a good use of money.
I agree with you.
And if you would have told me they signed him to a 2-year extension worth $12 million, so $6 a year, good. That's awesome. You can have Kendre Miller, who's on about $1.3 million, and Kamara on $6 million. You're paying your 2 running backs $7.5 million a year. That's the same rate that if I look at $7 million a year, that's what James Conner makes. One guy. Like, okay, that's fine. $12 million a year, I can't deal with that. So we'll see. I hope I'm proven wrong, but I do think that you're right that the fans will be happy about this move. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.